University tutorial of WWE 13. And in this tutorial I wanted to show you guys real quick something that's a bit of an old trick that I first used on SmackDown vs. Raw 2011, and probably quite a few other people have used it as well. But for the benefit of those of you out there who didn't know about it and couldn't do it because of the lack of transparency in WWE 12, this here is pretty much a little bit of a refresher course, and it's all about transparencies with tattoo designs using the paint tool or logo designer, if you will. And this trick is going to open up a whole lot of possibilities and make things a whole lot easier as far as your creations go, and making your tattoo designs as accurate as possible. So here we have my default CAW model here, and the newly revamped back tattoo for John Payne, which is basically a bunch of designs that I slapped together in the logo designer. No color adjustments done whatsoever, because with this trick you don't need to do any color adjusting any longer in paint tool. What you do is, after you apply the tattoo where it is that you want to go on to the body, you choose one of the regular designs in game, just one of the regular old shapes, a big one. The trapezoid works well, the circle works well too, just as long as it's big enough that you can completely mask the design over the part of the body where you have it. So here you see me expanding the circle and completely covering the design. By now you should probably have a pretty good idea of what it is that's going to happen next, but we're going to go through it anyway just so you see. What you do from there is you basically color match the design as close as possible to the skin tone of the CAW himself, or herself, if you will. This is something that you've probably been doing yourself for a while, especially using the Mark Henry trick. So after you get the skin tone to where it is that you want it to be, you then start adjusting the transparency, and you can instantly see exactly what the difference is between having the design on the skin by itself and it being masked by a design with a skin tone over it, and the transparency bumped up or down accordingly. Now, you don't necessarily have to have the shade of skin tone 100% accurate, because the tone is going to become transparent and not as visible to the naked eye the more you adjust the transparency further. And then also when you select the design, it kind of blends into the skin when it finalizes. So we do that here, and you can see as soon as we turn them around that back tattoo now looks 100% completely realistic, blending right into the flesh. No longer looks like a painted on body art piece, but an actual authentic back tattoo. That's the trick. And the best part about this trick is that all it is that you're doing is adjusting the shade and transparency of the design that you're using to mask the paint tool. You're not touching the paint tool at all. And what's even better about that is that it works for any skin tone. What you're about to see me do now is change the skin tone of the CAW model to a black person, or a person of African descent, if you want to be politically correct. We turn them around, And you see how the design looks, obviously lighter than the skin tone, but as I will zoom in here, the transparency remains. See, the tattoo still looks realistic on the fact that it doesn't look opaque black. The only thing is the design itself is lighter than the skin tone. So we fixed that by darkening the shade of a design. You can notice that I have not touched the transparency at all, and the tattoo still looks completely realistic on the CAWS skin, despite the fact that he has a completely different skin tone. Once again, it works with any skin tone, whether it's a black CAW, a white CAW, Hispanic, Asian, any nationality you can possibly think of. All you need to do is just make your designs. No more color blending and paint tool here, people. You just make your designs in black and put your mask over it using your regular old design shapes in game and adjust accordingly. Color matching using the color picker, which is a lot easier to do with the color picker in the CAW mode than it is with the one in the paint tool. And then adjusting your shade and transparency accordingly until you get your desired effect. You can see here I kind of increased, or decreased I should say, the transparency to make the tattoo look even lighter on the skin, where it looks a little bit older, like a faded tattoo that hasn't been touched up in a while. Those are the kind of things that you can create now that you have this trick in your repertoire. So get out there, do some experimenting, and that's gonna do it for this first tutorial. Really short and sweet. And if there are any other ideas for tutorials that you might have, feel free to drop me a line here in my inbox on YouTube, or if you're a member of the CAWS.ws forum, you can send me a personal message there, and I'll see if I can whip up some special tricks and extra knowledge for you to help improve your CAW creations for WWE 13. That's going to do it for this tutorial. I'm 3X, and class once again is dismissed. See you next time.